So, which is harder to kill, a North American whitetail deer or an African Impala ram? In this video, we'll cover the key differences between both species' size, anatomy, bone structure, and toughness. Two animals, two continents, and two very different hunting challenges. Whitetail deer are the most hunted game animal in North America, while the Impala is one of the most common and sought after trophies in Africa. But which is harder to kill? And if you can hunt deer, does that mean you're ready for Impala? If you enjoy this type of content, take a second to hit the like button for us and leave us a comment. It really helps the channel grow. Let's start with size. A mature whitetail buck weighs between 150 and 300 pounds and stands around 3 feet at the shoulder. By comparison, an Impala weighs between 90 and 170 pounds with a similar shoulder height between 3 and 3.5 feet. Both whitetail deer and Impala rely heavily on their senses for survival, but they excel in different areas. Whitetail deer have an exceptional sense of smell, often detecting predators or human presence from hundreds of yards away, making this sense superior to those of the Impala. Their hearing is also highly developed, with large swiveling ears that pick up the faintest of sounds in dense forests. However, their eyesight is adapted more for detecting movement rather than fine details, and they see best in low light conditions. Impala, on the other hand, have superior eyesight evolved for the open savanna. Their large eyes and wide field of view allow them to detect predators from great distances, and they are incredibly alert to visual threats. Their hearing is comparable to a whitetail's, but adapted for vast open landscapes rather than dense forests. While their sense of smell is still strong, it is not as refined as a whitetail's since they rely more on sight and speed for survival. Overall, whitetail deer rely more on smell and hearing, while Impala are more visually oriented, giving each an advantage in their respective environments. At first glance, the Impala may seem easier to bring down, but there's more to the story. While whitetails are more heavily muscled with a thicker bone structure, Impalas are built for speed and endurance. Impalas typically have leaner muscle mass and a tighter rib cage, which makes the vitals harder to hit. Another key difference is whitetails store more body fat, while Impalas are incredibly lean, meaning bullets often pass through without transferring as much energy. Whitetails are tough, but Impalas are designed for survival. In North America, deer rely on stealth and cover, using thick woods to escape predators. Impalas, on the other hand, live in open grasslands, where running is their main defense. An Impala can reach speeds of up to 50 miles an hour and leap over 10 feet in the air, making it incredibly difficult to track after a shot. Even when hit hard, Impalas usually run hundreds of yards, while a whitetail will usually drop within 50 to 150 yards. And while both animals can be hunted using similar calibers, the energy required for a clean kill differs. Typically, the energy required to harvest a whitetail deer is 1,000 foot-pounds, while an Impala is 1,200 foot-pounds of energy. Impalas, despite being smaller, often need slightly more penetration because of their tight rib cage and lean muscle. While a standard deer bullet may work for Impalas, it's best to use a bonded or solid bullet in order to get the penetration needed. While whitetail deer have thicker bones and heavier muscle mass, Impalas have narrow rib cages, making shot placement more precise. A bullet that barely clips a whitetail's lungs may miss the vitals completely on an Impala. Another key difference is shoulder structure. While a whitetail shoulder bone is thick, an Impala's scapula is positioned differently, meaning shots placed too far forward may hit muscle and miss the lungs entirely. So why do Impalas keep running after a good shot? The answer lies in adrenaline response and oxygen efficiency. Impalas are designed to flee from predators, meaning their circulatory response is more efficient, and it keeps them moving even when mortally wounded. That means a double lung shot may take several seconds longer to incapacitate an Impala than a deer, giving them more time to escape. The vital zone includes the heart and lungs, which are the most effective areas for a quick, ethical kill. The size of this zone varies between species due to body structure, rib cage shape, and muscle density. For a whitetail deer, the vital zone is approximately 10 to 14 inches in diameter. The heart size is 6 to 8 inches wide, and the lung size extends 10 to 12 inches from top to bottom. And what that means for hunters is a shot on a whitetail deer is more forgiving than an Impala due to a wider chest cavity. A slightly off shot may still hit part of the lung, leading to a clean kill. The chest is deeper, making the broadside shot more effective from more angles. And the vital zone on an Impala is 8 to 12 inches in diameter, with a heart size of 5 to 7 inches wide and a lung size that extends 8 to 10 inches from top to bottom. What that means for hunters is Impala have a tighter rib cage, meaning less room for error, and a poor shot could easily miss both lungs. The leaner build makes shot placement more critical than with deer. Impala also react faster, often sprinting hundreds of yards even when mortally wounded. Soft point hunting bullets work well for whitetail deer, but controlled expansion bullets work better for Impala. So expect to track an Impala further than you would a whitetail. Impalas often bleed less because their skin is tighter, meaning tracking is also harder. Due to the size of their vital zone and anatomy, a shot on a whitetail deer is slightly more forgiving than on an Impala. Impala, on the other hand, requires a slightly more precise shot right behind the shoulder. Too far forward hits muscle, and too far back risks a gut shot. Hunting whitetail deer in North America and Impalas in Africa present different challenges, mostly because African game are built to survive. Be sure to let us know which two game animals you'd like to see us compare next. If you've been able to hunt whitetail deer or Impala ram, go down in the comments and let us know a little bit about your experience.